everyone, this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and I'm going to have some talks, some questions and answers from my tarot group on Facebook. How are you all? Hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are around the world. So this is going to be a kind of like a question and answer kind of video. You can ask me questions. The more interesting the question, the better it will be. Whatever you want to know, tarot cards, astrology, anything you want to ask. When shuffling the cards, some cards fly out. This happens by accident or is the spirits pushing it. I think if you're shuffling cards and one flies out, just put it on the table and read it. That's what I will do. What is good advice if you have a card you feel stuck with in a reading? You have to research the card more. So if there's a card that you always get stuck on, you have to go and read about that card, maybe read online or books, and then you'll slowly be friends with it. You just have to get to know it. You have to, figure out what it means. If it's a major arcana, you need to understand the archetype. I think sometimes some of the tarot cards are very literal. Yeah. So sometimes you've got to obviously read tarot books, but sometimes you just got to think, well, what is it? What is this thing? Like another one's a magician. What does a magician do? A magician presents themselves usually in a glamorous way. Usually they've got the robe and they've got, or a suit, right? And they're on stage with the spotlight and they're doing tricks, sleight of hand. So a magician is someone who wants you to see what they want you to see. A magician presents something to the audience. So whenever you see the magician card, it's always to do with this person's presenting something to you. It could be the media. When I was doing a lot of readings about Donald Trump, whenever I got the magician card, I used to always think of that as the media. Okay, Fox News or CNN, they want us to see what they want us to see, right? So that's what I think of the magician. Now, you can read that in a book, but you can also just literally think, well, what does a magician do? What's the purpose of a magician? They're there to entertain us. They're there to present a trick, sleight of hand. So sometimes when you're reading tarot or learning to read tarot, you have to think not what the book says and just be a zombie. You got to actually think, well, what does it do? Like another one's a sword. Sometimes a lot of people will put, does he love me or does she love me? And they've got a sword. And they say yes, because it's an ace. It's the beginning. But what is a sword? A sword is a metal weapon used to kill people. You don't want to snuggle up to a sword at night in your bed, right? So sometimes beginners often don't connect what it is with what it's just common sense. A sword is an object that is made to kill someone. It's a weapon of war. So when you ask, does he love me or does she love me, and you get a sword, it's not really a love object. A cup is different. A cup is there to drink. You drink with, celebration, or you have a cup of coffee or something. But a sword is something that's going to kill you. So an ace of swords could be anger. It could be they're angry with you, or they just don't want to connect with you, because it could be that they're defensive. They're defending themselves, or they're going to stab you. Same as the wand. A wand. It could be a magic wand. Or it could be a stick. Like in the olden tarot, it's called a baton. A baton is like a bat, like a baseball bat. So what do you do with a baseball bat or a baton? You can pass the baton. You can hit someone on the head with a baton or a baseball bat. You can play sport with it. You can use it to make magic. So, if you start to think of what the actual object is, you start to get a deeper realm of what it is, I remember when I was teaching Lenormand cards years ago, and one of the students said to me, "Paris, what does the flowers mean?" Okay, she wanted me to spoon feed her, basically. And I said to her, "Well, what do you think the flowers mean? You tell me, what if I gave you a bunch of flowers, what does that mean? Think for yourself." Like some things, yes, I have to explain. I understand that because they're not obvious. But some things are very obvious. A sword is there to kill you, to stab you. It's obvious. But sometimes people, they go looking in a book to figure out what a sword means. You know what a sword means. It's there to have a sword fight. Okay, so Carolyn, the magician is a master of reality. Can fool or can be just a great at controlling a situation. Yes, can fool the audience or trick the audience, or they could be a master. Yes, they could entertain us, they can, amaze us. Sometimes when you watch a magic show, the magician is incredible. So, it depends. It depends on what it is, but it could also be a trickster. Obviously a magician is tricking us with their visual, tricks, sleight of hand, magic curtains and all the rest of it that they use to trick us. So they could entertain us and wow us, or they could be fooling us. So it depends what other cards it's with. But I see the magician a lot in modern times as the media, because that, if you think of like Fox News, CNN, they've got, beautiful sets, beautiful people talking to us. They're very well presented. They've got graphics, the American ones especially have got, graphics and cutaways, and they've got, snippets of videos that they want to talk about. So it's very magic. It's very magician. The commentators twist things in a certain way. So we have to be careful of being fooled by that stuff. All media does that though. I mean, every media does that. They give you their angle of the story. Same as a tarot reader. You're giving a reading, but you're giving the client your angle of the reading. If I read tarot cards and you read the same tarot cards, we might have slightly different answers, but it's because we're reading them from our point of view. Okay, that's why I love Lenormand. It seems more straightforward. Answer seems more cut and to the point. Yet Lenormand doesn't go on. Lenormand is not. Tarot tends to be very spiritual and very. Tarot gives you you might want to ask if someone likes you and it's telling you about your past that you have to get over to open your heart, or tarot will tell you you're not ready for love because you're still holding on to an ex or something like that. Whereas Lenormand just says, no, that person's not interested, or yes, they are. Lenormand doesn't go into the long background or spiritual awakening. Lenormand doesn't usually do that. It just tells you, yes, no, you're going to make it, you're not going to make it, you're going to have it, you're not going to have it. Dolly says, hi Paris, what about cord cutting? Cord cutting, I think you just have to tell your mind to not think of, to keep letting go. You can do it yourself. You can, if you're stuck on someone, you have to just keep telling yourself, I let that person go, that was the past. You have to cut it yourself. You might have to tell your mind to stop thinking of that person. So if, for example, if I had a client who was stuck on someone, I would say to that person, you're stuck on your ex because you haven't moved on and you want to hold on to something that's not there anymore, and you're probably too afraid to move forward or meet someone else. So you're holding on to, you're holding on to someone because you're afraid of letting go to find, to have nothing. And humans don't like having nothing. We like to always have something. So we hold on to things because we want to avoid having like no thing or no person for a while. So I would tell people to cut the cord more through psychology, not through some, I would tell them more through their own mind. And usually in a reading, I'd get the person to realize that they're just holding on. Often people have epiphanies in the reading as well. Like, I had one a while back, maybe 4 weeks ago. Beautiful Arabic lady, Muslim lady, and she was kind of obsessed with this guy from the past, her ex or something. And I just said to her, "You're bored, and you're just holding on to him, and you know he's no good for you, but you're holding on to him because it's comfortable." And she was listening, and I said, if you notice, your mind is holding on to him, but it's just like entertainment, really. And at the end, she said, "Yeah, you're right." She said, I'm avoiding meeting new man. I'm avoiding getting out there, and I'm holding on to him because it's kind of like entertaining. And she said, she talks about him all the time to her friends. I said, "Yeah, I said, even in this reading, you've brought him up in the reading because it's like something to talk about for another half an hour." And I said, "I just think you're entertaining yourself and just accept it." And she said, "Just accept that you're using it as entertainment." And I said, "Once you get it, then it'll wear off." And the next time that was the last time she came, she said she's over him. But the time before that, she came about 3 months ago. That's when I had that conversation with her. So the last time I saw her, she said, "I feel so free. I let him go. I realized I was just addicted to the drama." So sometimes when we cut the past or cut a person out of our life or cutting a cord, it's because we're holding on to that person, and it's usually in our mind. Okay? So yeah, it's like a habit. Why do people knock on the tarot cards 3 times? That's just personal preference. I don't do that. I just shuffle my cards and I count them usually. I tend to to me, tarot is like my friend, my wise mentor. I see tarot as like my invisible teacher, And my tarot, the way I deal with tarot and astrology and all that is I see it as like an invisible Yoda that I have with me all the time. And whenever I need to talk to it, I can talk to it through the cards. And it's always it's omnipresent. That's why when people say in the group, especially, what do you do to get in tune with the cards? Do you do like burn sage or burn a candle? I don't do that because to me the cards are always the force is always there. I just need to say, "Can I talk to you?" Or I need an answer. I don't sit down and burn incense and burn a candle and wrap my cards in velvet or whatever. I always respect my cards. But if I want to say to my cards right now, "Can you please tell me about tomorrow or something?" It's there. It's with me all the time. Whenever I want to connect with it, I just connect with it, So all these rituals about cleansing cards as well, I don't do any of that either. I don't, put crystals on my cards. I don't put them in the moonlight because they're with me. Like if I put my cards out in the moonlight, I need to put myself out in the moonlight. My cards will say, "You get it, you sit in the moonlight for a while, dude. You need it more than us." So to me the cards are always with me in the sense that whenever I need to talk to them, they're there for me, I'm not separate from the cards. I don't feel like I'm separate from them. They're just, they're on my table at work or wherever I am. But when I need to talk to them, I just pick them up and talk to them, and they talk back. So I'm not separate. I don't need to connect with them. I don't need to cleanse them or cleanse me or something. I just don't. But I think you do have to respect your cards. Because what I don't like, sometimes I see funny memes on Facebook and they're swearing or... I don't like that, because I wouldn't swear at my teacher, I would probably swear at a friend, but I wouldn't swear at my teacher, or I wouldn't swear at Yoda, I wouldn't swear at Dumbledore, Albus Dumbledore, because it's just, to me, that's just like you wouldn't do that to a teacher that you admire. So sometimes when people post things like, what the fuck is this spread? Or I saw one the other day, like, what the fuck is this and what the fuck is that? And it was a spread. I forget what it was called. I think it was called What the Fuck Spread. And I was going to not allow it in the group. But I thought, some people will find it funny or cute. But I personally don't. I personally think I wouldn't speak to my cards like that. I wouldn't say, give me a fucking reading cards. That to me is just like rude. I wouldn't do that. I feel honoured and I feel privileged, and I wouldn't speak to my cards in a like, oh, you fucking not telling me the answers. I wouldn't say that to my cards, because it's like a privilege that they speak to me, I don't know. I think maybe when I was younger, I was a little bit more relaxed about that. But as I've gotten older, that to me is a cringe. But normal tarot, I would not speak to it in a disrespectful way. That's all. I treat my tarot cards like a wise teacher. Are the tarot spirits different from your spirit guides? Tarot spirits different from the spirit guides. No, I think they're the same. Tarot spirits, spirit guides, I think they're the same. I think they're the same thing. I think I'll leave it there, guys. And this went kind of all over the place, this conversation. So I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now. And if you have any questions, you can write them in the comments, and I'll get around to them all. Okay, this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and I'll see you next time. Bye.